And stuck. What's up, people?
What's up, witches?
Happy belated Beltane.
I'm Linda.
I'm John.
And this is Getting Witchy. And today, yes, we are a few days late. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, few is 3, and it is, no. We're a few times 2, or a few squared.
We're a half dozen days late.
A few squared.
Okay, sure.
Because the 2, yeah, okay. I love math, but I hated math at the same time.
Except that 3 squared is 9.
That's true. Somebody out there right now, I hear them saying, "You're wrong. She's right." Yeah, okay. You know what the fuck I meant.
We're a half dozen days late.
But better late than never.
Mm.
Or just wait till next year and then we'll be late then too.
Unless you're pregnant. But anyway, today we're talking all about Beltane.
Are we though? Okay. Yeah, I totally lost my freaking train of thought at that point. Beltane. Halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, which is in June.
Yes.
Yes. Really sorry this is late. It's super late. As we mentioned with our last recording, I can't really say episode because, I mean, it was just kind of off the cuff kind of thing.
Right.
But, yeah, life happens. Stuff gets in the way, shit happens, shit gets in the way, shit hits the fan.
Yeah. People have meltdowns.
Depression. I mean,
yeah, it happens.
Yeah. We're going to be moving soon.
Yes.
Don't know that will interfere with any recordings, but it's going to happen. So just
so you'll see new surroundings.
Yes, but they'll still be the same background.
Yep.
Because we like that background.
Yes.
Anyway, is there anything you wanted to...
Just wanted to remind y'all that if you haven't done so yet, we are still running our giveaway on Instagram, so make sure that you find the post. You do have to like it. Make sure you are following us and comment. You have to do all 3 in order to be entered to win. So, get on it.
You have a little bit of salt right there.
Oh, sorry.
It's gone. Yeah, we are requiring all 3 because we can.
And
Get
doesn't
over it.
take much time.
No, it doesn't. Not really.
You like the post, you make sure you're following us, and you tell us which one of our episodes is your favorite. Doesn't take much time.
I think my personal favorite is the very first one that I don't think is actually posted.
Oh, like
at Evergreen.
Oh,
when we were side by side with with your computer.
Yeah, no, that one never actually did get posted.
We should probably post that just for fucking shits and giggles.
Okay, I mean I've posted pictures from it, I think, but
Pictures.
yeah, like facial expressions we've made or.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, I could definitely...
I think we should just fucking put it out there. It was before we were together, and I guarantee anybody that's paying attention could see the that look you're giving right now.
The love between us?
Yes. Anyway, Beltane. It is a Gaelic festival. Oftentimes it's called May Day.
Mayday! Mayday! What? Why do they say that when they're calling for help?
I don't know why they say that when they're calling for help. I would have to look that up. But with this festival, the maypole, I still don't understand the whole concept of the maypole. I get the pole because it is a phallic symbol.
Yes.
I get the pole. Well, I don't want the pole. But I understand why they have, it. Anyway, you're
funny.
It is marking the beginning of summer. Traditionally held on May 1st, about midway between, as I said already, spring.
Between
spring. Yeah, the summer equinox, or did I say that right?
Summer solstice.
Solstice of Litha.
Spring equinox.
Yes, spring equinox of Ostera, the fertility goddess, and Litha.
Summer solstice.
We'll get into Litha in about a month.
Yes.
Historically, I gave you shit about salt on your lip, and I just went, and there was a whole bunch of salt. Anyway, historically, it was observed in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. Now, I looked up the Isle of Man, and that is a whole... There's a whole separate freaking story behind the Isle of Man. It's not Irish. It's not necessarily English. I mean, it does fall under, but yeah, anyway. It is one of the 8 holy days, or 8 Sabbaths.
Mm-hmm.
Or, excuse me, high holy days. Because it's kind of like any one of the high holy days is kind of like Christmas for the Christians.
Do they get high on these holy days?
Well, I mean, they could. I wouldn't fault them if they did. And I would recommend if you do. One of the high holy days, the colors of Beltane are light green, yellow, and pale pink.
So like a pastel pink, not fluorescent.
Yeah,
pink.
so think Miami Vice.
No.
Yes.
No, the pink involved with Miami Vice was more fluorescent.
I'm not sure I totally agree. Well,
this is more like the pastels.
That was what?
No.
Yes, that's what Miami Vice was all about. If you ever watched the freaking show.
I did with my dad.
What the fuck is
the
going
white
on with this?
Suits with the neon colored shirts underneath.
Pause.
What's up, witches?
We're back. Had a minor battery issue.
Yep.
So, the colors for Beltane are light green, yellow, and pale pink.
Pastels.
Which... No, pastels are like Miami Vice colors.
Okay.
Anyway. The crystals associated with Beltane would be malachite, garnet, which I used to have a very gorgeous, like, hunk. The fucking thing was like that big, 2-inch diameter hunk of garnet. Just gorgeous. I do have a nice piece of garnet now. I gave away the other one. Don't ask. It was before you. Rose quartz, emerald, beryl, and tourmaline, which I don't really get the tourmaline.
Well, tourmaline comes in different colors, though, because there's black tourmaline, there's blue tourmaline. What?
I'm listening.
And tourmaline is actually what they use in, like, the crystal clocks.
Crystal clocks?
Yeah, like the analog clocks that use a piece of crystal inside them. Tourmaline is actually what they use because it has a very specific vibration pattern.
Most quartz crystal clocks have a quartz crystal in them.
Yes, but they use tourmaline.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because of the vibration pattern on it. It's very specific.
Pacific?
Yeah. Specific.
As we mentioned earlier, it falls halfway between the spring equinox and which is Ostera, and the coming summer solstice, which is Litha. What? Did I say it wrong? Litha?
No.
Yes, it comes between the two. It is a celebration of spring at its peak, and the coming summer. Shut up.
So, what are we talking? Beltane is. Sorry, I forgot for a second. Is when the god, the young god, emerges into manhood, and
women dance around his maypole.
Nature is taking its course, and he starts to desire the goddess.
And women dance around his maypole.
Yes.
The festival, it's a fertility festival. Again, dancing around the maypole. A festival often commemorated with bonfires. Again, maypoles. And dancing and performing fertility rituals. Now, I have not found anything that really describes the fertility rituals. However, there was or is a TV show or cable, one of the channel shows like Netflix and so forth. Freeform, I think it was.
Which is basically ABC Disney or ABC Family.
Not by watching this, it's not. What was that? Basically, it was a retelling of American history, but the burning times didn't happen. The witch hunts didn't happen. Witches held their own, and...
Are you talking about that show Salem?
No. I almost said yes, but no. So there was an episode where it was a Beltane festival, and it was basically an orgy.
Yeah.
They had maypoles, and the women danced around the maypole and wrapped
ribbons.
Well, it was more like garland of flowers. They wrapped the flowers of garland around the maypole, and they were being all happy and free and da-da-da. And they picked 1, 2, or 3 men to be with. It was a ritual of fertility.
Okay.
That's kind of how I kind of perceive what ancient.
Is that Rome?
Pardon me?
Rome?
No, it
Okay.
wasn't Rome.
Okay.
No, they did that on a daily.
Well, because I
Rome
didn't
was-
watch all of Rome.
No, it wasn't Rome.
Um.
I know somebody out there knows this. It's Motherland.
Oh, that one.
That one, yes.
That fucking one I couldn't stand.
Really?
I hated that one.
I could only watch the first. I watched the first season, and I couldn't really.
Yeah,
But
no, I
that
hated that one.
was. So anyway,
So basically, with this one, a lot of times, okay, yes, the whole, not the whole, but oftentimes one of the rituals was to have a young man and a maiden basically perform as if they were the god and goddess. And he would chase her around the circle.
Okay.
And then but she would never be fast enough to where he couldn't catch her.
Okay.
And then once he caught up to her, they would fall down into the grass and simulate the act of sex.
No, they weren't simulating it in the show.
Well, no, I mean, in some cases they were actually doing it, but like in more, I guess, as the more modern you got, the less actual it was.
Yeah, because
The
they're
more simulation.
so prude-ish.
But anyway,
Well, they were.
I know.
So Beltane is a Celtic word meaning fires of Bel, or they don't say this in anything but I find it ironic that, or not ironic, but interesting how Bel and Baal, the Sumerian god, Baal. No, not Baal. It was Baal. There's no multiple A's there. It's B-A-L.
B-A-A-L. Actually. B-A-apostrophe-A-L.
Okay. Anyway.
You know, the arrogant little dude on Stargate. They had a thing
They
for
were
Carter.
all arrogant.
They had a thing for Carter that they worked together to get rid of the Ori.
No, he was not just arrogant. He was way over the top.
He was super over the top.
So, first, everyone in the community would put out all the flames in the home. How was that funny? To put out all fires in the home. No lights, no fireplace.
I'm okay. We're good.
What is going on?
Just keep going. Keep talking.
You need to explain that.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope, we're good.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You're positive?
We're good.
Okay. Lanterns, the hearth fires, and so on. The Celts would then light 2 bonfires to celebrate the festival. It was believed that the 2 bonfires combined, but shush. Set up straight. The 2 bonfires combined would purify anything that ran between them. So, the idiots in high school trying to jump over the bonfire, which many of them did not succeed, kind of like Christopher Titus. If you don't know who Christopher Titus is, look him up. He's fucking hilarious and has an amazing story of him trying to jump over a bonfire and it didn't work out. And then going home to try to explain that to his father, who was an alcoholic, abusive bastard. But it's funny the way he tells the story. So, they would also use these two bonfires to increase their fertility. I'm sorry, but 14 fucking children is not enough fertility?
Maybe this was before the 14 children.
Anyway, they would pass cattle between the two bonfires with the belief that it would purify the cattle and ensure fertility for the herd overall. What the fuck was that?
What'd you do?
There we go. Shush. I moved something and it didn't want to be moved, apparently. Now, this was not necessarily a ritual that was practiced or is practiced now.
Nope.
But modern pagans still light bonfires and practice fertility rituals to this day. And at the end of the festivities, the community would relight their home fires, taking
the branch
from the main bonfire, and they would relight the fires within the home to bring prosperity, fertility, and protection to the home. The people and their cattle would walk around between the two fires and sometimes, as I just mentioned, leap over the fires or flames. These gatherings would be accompanied by a feast. And some of the food and drink would be offered to the... Now, the pronunciation of AOS space SI that I saw was AC.
For me, it would be the Aus C.
Yeah, well, that's modern English pronunciation. That's not necessarily the way they pronounced it then. Thank you. But the EC or AC were descendants of, guess who?
Tuatha De Danann?
Yes. They were a secondary group of gods. We didn't even get into them when we went over the Celtic.
We hardly even got into the Tuatha.
Hardly.
Well, I mean, like, we were doing a summary version. Well, so, yeah, we hardly got into the Tuatha.
I mean, okay. All right. But this is like the third generation. Because the Tuatha De Danann were kind of like the Greek Olympians as being the second generation.
So these people are like their grandkids.
Yeah. Doors, windows, and whatever the fuck a buyer is. BYRES. I didn't look that up. My bad. But these and livestock would be decorated with yellow mayflowers.
Okay.
Probably because it evoked the concept of fire. Yeah, it's yellow. In parts of Ireland, people would make a May bush. You're not making this very easy. You know that, right? A May bush is typically a thorn. Hi, Misty. Hi, baby. Hi. Okay, she's like, I've had enough. A thorn bush or thorn branch decorated with flowers, ribbons, and bright shells and lights. Well, first of all, in ancient times, where the fuck are the lights? You mean candles?
Right.
But shells, I mean, I get it. Ireland.
I mean, if you're on the coast.
Exactly. But they probably traded, I mean, many of them traded in shells and other things, kind of like in Fallout, they trade in bottle caps, whatever is most prevalent, but not as prevalent, so it could be an actual currency.
Right.
I mean, they did trade in shells. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was my tummy grumbling.
No, that's not what
They also created holy wells. Shush. To celebrate Beltane in various ways, and there isn't a lot of information of how they used holy wells to do that, other than they were visited and used. And then there was the dew.
The dew?
Not the dew, but Beltane dew. Like, first thing in the morning.
The morning dew.
Yes.
Okay.
But they called it the Beltane dew. They would sop up the dew on the grass and leaves, and that would be used as a means to bring beauty and maintain a woman's youthfulness. Because apparently even back then, men aged better. Well, look at Jack Nicholson. Look at, what's his name from the casino heist. He was on one of the doctor shows. Was the wife of Julia, what's her name? They did multiple movies. 12 Ocean's 11.
Are you talking about fucking George Clooney?
Yes. There are a lot of people that adore him. I'm not one of them, and obviously neither are you. But he's aged quite gracefully as opposed to others. Now, some say it's because he drinks the blood of the youth, but
Well, I was going to say it's called plastic surgery.
So, modern day pagans celebrate Beltane in various ways. One way to celebrate it is with a maypole, as we've mentioned. In this custom, a pole is placed in a field with ribbons and flowers attached. See, that's the opposite of what they did in the show, where the women danced around and wrapped the ribbons and the ribbons and flowers around.
They're attached at the top, and they're alternating. So, like, the older women have, I think, the red ones. The younger, like, the maidens have the white ones.
Okay.
And the way they dance around it is, like, they kind of weave them. So, like, at one step, the red goes above the white, and then it goes below the white, and then as they dance around the pole, so it kind of braids the ribbons around the pole.
Gotcha. They're still wrapping something around his pole.
Yeah, it's called a condom.
Condom. Okay. So they would do this dance, and the pole obviously represented masculinity and everything, but the flowers represent femininity.
Now, one of the things I saw was that there was also something to do with the cauldron, but it didn't go into depth about what the cauldron was used for.
Well, the cauldron is a representation of the female.
Yes, but it didn't go into depth as much as this goes into the maypole. It was just like, oh yeah, and then there's the cauldron. Well, okay, but what are you doing with the cauldron? Like, you go into depth about the maypole and how it's being wrapped by ribbons.
I did not find anything about.
Yeah, I found like one little mention about the cauldron. And how it represents the female.
Okay.
While the maypole...
Kind of like the chalice and the Holy Grail.
Yeah. Well, yes. Oh.
But we're not getting into Christianity. Thank you. However,
what?
Curious how the cauldron would symbolize much of the same as the Holy Grail.
Well, because they're both cups. They're both vessels.
I find that curious that Christianity, again, adopted something that was more ancient than them to create something that people would follow. Anyway,
in order that people would follow.
Yes. There were also marriages that were done. It was typically for a 1-year period. If after that 1 year, with the next Beltane celebration, you both felt like you
were happy with the union, it would be made permanent.
Yes. Or
if you weren't happy, it was dissolved right then and there.
And you could go on to get some other dick and what? Well, I was going to say and puss, but I mean, you smacked me before I could say that. It was all about sex. Beltane, back in the day, come on. Let's be freaking
okay, but
real
you're acting as if the female is the only one who would be disappointed.
No, I'm just saying that if either of the two were not set, what are you doing?
Taking a drink. You want a drink? Take a drink.
If either of the two were not satisfied, they could move on. No harm. No foul. They were friends. There were no complications.
Okay.
Meanwhile, my youngest is turning 18 in a couple of days. Yeah, we won't get into that.
And my oldest is graduating high school on the 23rd.
So they said marriages were typically done for the season. The season was a year period.
Or a year and a day.
If they were pleased together or pleased with each other or they pleased the other, they would stay together, as I said. Celebrators or individuals that were in the celebration would also weave flowers into their hairy. They would weave flowers into their hairy. That would be interesting. Or create a floral wreath to wear upon their head.
Kind of like midsummer.
Yeah. As a celebration or the celebration of the end of spring. There were also May baskets, which they would fill them with flowers and goodwill. How do you fill a basket with goodwill? Are you just like I don't.
What exactly is goodwill besides
the body?
A feeling.
Okay. I thought maybe they squirted milk or milk. Remember, this is for adults. They would give the baskets to someone in need of care, such as an elderly friend or elderly member of the community.
Or someone recovering from an illness.
Yes. It is a great time to do spells. Obviously, we've mentioned this multiple times. Involving fertility, aligning with the feminine, because despite the implied meaning of the name Maypole and everything associated with Beltane, this was all about the feminine divine. That's what
this is
Beltane,
the time she gets pregnant.
Beltane is about the feminine and the feminine goddess and the feminine divine in each of us. The Maypole aspect of it was to, for lack of a better way to put it, to fertilize the feminine divine, to continue the cycle into the next year. It was about purification, i.e. flames.
Walking between the bonfires.
Vitality. I mean, if you can't keep up with the feminine, you're not vital.
You're good.
And then unions joining together. Again, the marriage, even if it was only for a year, it was anticipated. I mean, it was a major celebration.
Right.
When two people joined together during Beltane, it was about the union of the two. They didn't go into it as a joke or, there's no one else, so I'll fuck you for the next year.
Yeah, there was no marriage pacts. There was nothing like that.
They went into it because they wanted it to be. If there was some crazy ass conflict in the year that they couldn't overcome, then they would move on. But ultimately, it was about the union of the male and female to further the species and further the earth. I mean, if things didn't happen in springtime and summertime, husbandry, they called it,
if y'all have ever watched Bambi, if things don't get Twitter pated, species don't carry on.
Twitter pated?
That's what they call it, Twitter pated.
Really?
Have you never watched Bambi?
When I was like 5 or 6, but I cried because
his
Bambi,
mom dies.
Yeah, and
but
I should not have watched. Bambi is not.
It's not a kids
show
movie.
For kids.
No, it's not. Well, except that,
and neither is The Exorcist, and I watched that when I was 10. Just saying.
When spring comes, when Bambi experiences his first spring, like his friends tell him all about getting Twitter pated, and
they actually say Twitter pated?
Yes, that's what they call it, is Twitter pated.
And then someone made a website called Twitter.
Tweet.
Okay, I've had enough. Oh my god. So that is the crux of Beltane, long and short.
Yes.
There's a shit ton of more info, just like with all the others. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a whole bunch of info. Not all of it's accurate.
True.
You need to, or I should say, I would recommend you cross-reference your information if you want to learn more about it. Like, unless you trust the author or publisher of information, cross-reference. And please don't just use Wikipedia as your sole
Oh no,
reference.
that's the worst thing you could do.
Don't just use Wikipedia as your sole reference. There's a lot of good information there, but just remember that that's not, you can't use it in college.
Nope.
You can't reference Wikipedia in college.
Nope.
And there's a reason for it. Because anybody can add to that.
Right.
I could go on there and say that guys were effing goats during Beltane. And that may have happened. I mean, they joke about it happening in the Middle East countries. Okay, I'm going over the top here. But I'm saying, like, it didn't necessarily happen. So cross-reference all of your information. And if 2 or 3 say the same thing, then that's probably
reliable.
It's probably reliable.
Yeah.
And I apologize to any of my Arab friends. I didn't mean any disrespect, but I mean, that is a joke of, it's been a joke for 30 years.
So basically, we give you the Campbell's condensed soup version.
I like that.
But you have to also go out and do your own research.
Beltane is awesome. I love the idea of basically, not that I would do it now, but I love the idea of a giant party and an orgy. That's in effect what it was. It was. With respect. And now I've read stories of people swapping, like after, like during that year period, they would like swap. Yes. Yeah. So the first swingers could, in fact, come from Beltane celebration. I could see it happening.
Even prior to that with Caligula. But anyway.
Well, now you're getting to Roman. That's not what we're talking about. But yes, that's Beltane. Wonderful holiday. We'll be discussing Litha soon because it's coming up soon.
In June. Yep.
And I promise you we will have that video prepared and uploaded before the event. Unlike this one, which is 5 days late.
Yeah.
It's the 6th, right? Yeah. So 5 days late. We apologize. Life gets crazy. We've got a lot going on, as we mentioned in the prior coming attractions. I like that. Coming attractions. Of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving soon. We'll be moving after theoretically
Yes.
after Litha. But yeah.
So anyway, stay tuned, witches. Be safe.
I hope you got a laugh out of this and learn something. We have an event coming up this Saturday, the 11th.
Yes, we are going to be at Mother Nature's Farm in Gilbert, Arizona. So if you are in the Phoenix area, stop by, say hi. It's free entrance, as far as I know.
If you're not in the Phoenix area, fly out and come by and say hi.
But
or
we will be representing our Apothecary Three Sisters Botanicals. So I'm looking forward to that.
Proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you for watching and putting up with this insanity. We love you.
And don't forget, check out our Instagram page for our giveaway. Like the post. Make sure you're following us and comment on what your favorite episode of ours is so far. Okay? Anyway, peace out, witches.
Peace out.